celebrity revelations of recent times. NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal and his ex-wife Shaunie Henderson have been making headlines after shocking revelations from Shaunie's explosive memoir hit the public. What she revealed about their 9-year marriage has left fans stunned and sparked conversations across social media. In her book, Undefeated, Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms, Shaunie dropped bombshells that have forced both her and Shaq to confront painful truths about their relationship. From questions about whether she ever truly loved the basketball icon to details about infidelity and power dynamics, this story goes far deeper than anyone expected. Let's break down the shocking revelations and see how both parties are dealing with the aftermath. The bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world came from a single line in Shaunie Henderson's memoir. In Undefeated, Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms, she wrote, "Looking back, I don't know that I was ever really in love with the man, but I was in love with the idea of being married to the man I thought he was." Think about that for a moment. We're talking about a marriage that lasted 9 years, produced 4 children together, and was lived out in the public eye. Shaunie Henderson, now 49, essentially admitted that she may never have been truly in love with one of basketball's most iconic figures. The memoir revealed that their marriage, which lasted from 2002 to 2011, was plagued by infidelity, but this particular revelation cut deeper than any cheating scandal. It questioned the very foundation of their relationship and forced everyone to reconsider what they thought they knew about this high-profile couple. The timing of this revelation is particularly striking. The memoir was released on May 7, 2024, more than a decade after their divorce was finalized. Shaunie, who is now happily married to Pastor Keon Henderson, felt comfortable enough in her new life to be brutally honest about her past. But here's what makes this even more complex: this wasn't a vindictive attack or a bitter ex-wife seeking revenge. As we'll see, Shaunie's approach to discussing her marriage with Shaq has been surprisingly thoughtful and nuanced, even as she's revealed some of the most painful aspects of their relationship. To understand the full impact of Shaunie's revelations, we need to go back to the beginning. Henderson met O'Neal in 1999, and they tied the knot in 2002. Looking back, she said it was not hard to fall for his charm. Picture this: late 1990s, Shaquille O'Neal is at the peak of his basketball career. He's dominating the NBA, winning championships, and building a media empire that would make him one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. Shaunie was young, beautiful, and found herself swept up in the whirlwind that was Shaq's life. But the fairy tale quickly showed cracks. O'Neal filed for divorce in 2007, but they reconciled not long after. They filed for divorce again in 2009 and it was finalized in 2011. This pattern of breaking up and getting back together suggests a relationship that was troubled from early on. What's particularly telling is how Shaunie describes her feelings during this time. She admits to being more in love with the idea of being married to Shaq than the man himself. This suggests that even during their relationship, she may have been aware that something fundamental was missing. The power dynamics in their relationship also played a significant role. In recent interviews, Shaunie has contrasted her first marriage with her current one, saying about her new husband, "He would ask me, he would look for my opinion. He would look for my suggestions, and we really were partners in most of the decisions that we made." The implication is clear: this wasn't how things worked with Shaq. One of the most painful aspects of Shaunie's revelations involves the infidelity that plagued their marriage. O'Neal acknowledged in his 2011 biography, Shaq Uncut, My Story, that there was infidelity throughout his and his ex-wife's relationship. But Shaunie's memoir provides her perspective on how devastating this betrayal was. In her memoir, Shaunie detailed how she first discovered that Shaquille O'Neal was cheating on her through a hotel clerk's mistake. Imagine the shock and humiliation of finding out about your husband's infidelity from a stranger making a simple error. The fact that Shaq had already publicly admitted to his infidelity made it easier for Shaunie to open up about this painful chapter. Henderson told People that her ex-husband having publicly admitted to his infidelity during their marriage made it easier for her to open up in her memoir. "I was like, oh, okay," he told on himself, she said. "I'm literally telling my story and my journey, which he was a part of." This betrayal clearly had lasting effects on Shaunie's ability to trust and love fully in that relationship. When someone repeatedly breaks your trust, especially in such a public way, it becomes nearly impossible to maintain the emotional intimacy required for true love. The infidelity wasn't just a one-time mistake, it was a pattern that continued throughout their relationship. Henderson shared in her memoir that although she truly did enjoy spending time with O'Neal, their relationship ended because he was trying to be a world-famous, 30-something multi-millionaire with thousands of women throwing themselves at him. What happened next shocked everyone who expected a defensive or angry response from Shaquille O'Neal. Instead of lashing out or denying Shaunie's claims, Shaq did something completely unexpected: he took responsibility. The retired athlete took to his Instagram to share a response where he wrote, "I understand. I wouldn't have been in love with me either. Wishing you all the best. All love." This response showed a level of maturity and self-awareness that surprised many people. Think about how difficult it must be to read that your ex-wife, the mother of 4 of your children, is publicly stating that she may never have loved you. Most people would respond with anger, denial, or attempts to defend their reputation. Instead, Shaq essentially said, "I get it, and I don't blame you." This response suggests that Shaq has done some serious soul-searching since their divorce. He's clearly reflected on his behavior during their marriage and come to terms with the fact that his actions made it difficult, if not impossible, for Shaunie to love him fully. The public nature of his response also matters. By posting on social media, Shaq was essentially telling the world that he accepts responsibility for the failure of their marriage. This kind of public accountability is rare, especially from someone with as much to lose in terms of public image as Shaquille O'Neal. Recent reports suggest that months after Shaunie's revelations, Shaq has expressed interest in getting married again, with sources saying, "I failed her," regarding his relationship with Shaunie. This indicates that her memoir may have prompted even deeper reflection on his part. The public reaction to Shaunie's revelations was immediate and intense. Social media exploded with opinions, memes, and discussions about their relationship. But as often happens with viral quotes, context got lost in the noise. Shaunie Henderson exclusively told people she believes the quote from her memoir was, sadly, taken out of context, after her ex-husband, Shaquille O'Neal, reacted to a viral excerpt about their marriage. This clarification suggests that while the quote was accurate, the full nuance of her feelings and the context surrounding that statement got lost in the social media frenzy. Henderson had previously expressed nervousness about writing about her ex-husband, saying, "I didn't want to disrespect someone else's story, even if it was a part of mine, but as I get older and do more things in the entertainment industry, I found that people have a misconception of who I am." This shows that Shaunie's decision to be so open wasn't made lightly. She wrestled with how to tell her truth without unnecessarily hurting someone who remains an important part of her life as the father of her children. The fact that she felt compelled to clarify that her words were taken out of context also shows how difficult it can be to have nuanced conversations about complex relationships in our social media age. A single quote, no matter how thoughtfully written in context, can take on a life of its own once it goes viral. Today, both Shaunie and Shaq have moved on to build new chapters in their lives. Shaunie married Pastor Keon Henderson in May 2022, and by all accounts, she's found the partnership and mutual respect that was missing in her first marriage. Her description of her current marriage stands in stark contrast to her first. She talks about having a say in decisions, being asked for her opinion, and truly being partners. This suggests that her painful experience with Shaq taught her what she needed and deserved in a relationship. For Shaq, the revelations seem to have prompted continued self-reflection. Reports suggest he's open to marriage again, but with a different understanding of what it takes to be a good partner. His mature response to Shaunie's memoir shows growth and accountability that wasn't evident during their marriage. What's particularly admirable about both of them is how they've handled this very public discussion of their private pain. Despite the shocking nature of Shaunie's revelations, both have maintained respect for each other and for their children. They remain on relatively good terms as they continue to raise their children together. The broader lesson here is about the importance of honest self-reflection in relationships. Shaunie's willingness to admit that she may never have been truly in love, combined with Shaq's acceptance of responsibility for his role in their marriage's failure, shows a level of emotional maturity that's rare in celebrity divorces. Their story also highlights how success, fame, and wealth don't guarantee happiness in relationships. Sometimes the most fundamental elements, trust, respect, and genuine love, can't be bought or achieved through external success. The revelations from Shaunie Henderson's memoir have given us a raw, unfiltered look at one of the most high-profile marriages in sports and entertainment history. While the truth about their relationship may be painful, both Shaunie and Shaq have handled these revelations with a maturity that speaks well of who they've become since their divorce. Shaunie's courage in telling her truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and Shaq's willingness to accept responsibility rather than lash out, show that sometimes the end of a marriage can be the beginning of better understanding and personal growth. As both move forward in their separate lives, Shaunie with her new marriage and Shaq with his continued journey of self-discovery, their story serves as a reminder that even our most painful experiences can lead to wisdom, growth, and ultimately, better relationships in the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the stories that matter in sports and entertainment.